Hello, I'm Shield War100 and welcome back to my gaming channel. Today, slightly different one. I have Kevin with me again, but we're not playing Batman. We're playing Onus, the card-based Ancients game, which I showed off a little while ago in another video. And yeah, I really enjoy. I've been playing this down my games club. I ran through a quick game with Kevin a little while ago, and we're going to try it for the channel this time. And we're using one of the scenarios from the book. This is the battle in the campaign book for the Onus pack, known as the Battle for the Erigon River, where we have Philip II of Macedonia's, Macedonian army in its relatively infant stages versus the Illyrian king. Bardillus, I think his name is, apparently 90 years old but still going strong, able to ride a horse, etc. I'm not sure I entirely believe that, but you know, who am I to stand in the way of a good story? And yeah, it's this is the Illyrians have been raiding for quite a long time into Macedonia, even forcing them to pay tribute, etc. And well, Philip has refitted his army with longer sticks, always a good idea in ancient battles. And yeah, he said no, not taking this anymore, needs to subdue the Illyrians before he can push south to exert his control over Greece. And yeah, so we're going to play through this scenario as it is from the book, more or less, with the suggested forces, more or less. And yeah, it's going to be a good game. Or I'm going to assume that you guys sort of either watched my previous video or might have a rough idea of the rules already, so we're not going to go into how movement and cards and whatnot interact. We'll show you the cliff notes, of course, but we're going to get right in there now. And yeah, be back in just a second.
This will be my second outing playing this game with Lee. So I actually outnumber Lee as far as number of units are concerned, and I've played 3 of my orders. So we've taken a cavalry advance and 2 skirmishes, so I can activate any 2 units in my army and all of my mounted units. We've done a bit of manoeuvring just to get forward. So as you can see, I've got my guys there in their diamond formation, which is one of their special abilities. We've moved up some chaff alongside that one. We've left the main core of my army, which consists of chaff, but then some really solid units that are in the centre for a card that I may or may not play later on. I've got 3 units of skirmishers that are hanging back, and 1 unit of skirmishers which is bolted forward with my other cavalry unit. You'll notice it's exactly the same as the one over there, has exactly the same diamond formation special rules, but I'm an inferior force with larger numbers, going into what is a 300 scenario almost in my head, and I don't want to go and smash all my units against Lee's shield wall.
Just had my first activation as Philip II. Feels good. I got my armies deployed as cavalry on each wing in their customary diamond formation, and my heavy infantry is at the front and the centre with the skirmishers just behind. Maybe I didn't want to get the squishy stuff killed at first. I wanted to present a nice solid front line and get these out where they needed to be. Right, in my first activation though, I played Senior General to give Philip +1 leadership, puts him up to leadership 7 and his hand limit up to 7, which is great. And then I did mobilisation, which meant I could then activate 7 of my units, which was just all my infantry, just to start bumping them up. I am reduced to a snail's pace crawl of 1 movement band for my heavy infantry at the front, so better get started because I want to get some mashing done.
Activated 2 units. Went with special mobilisation. I can activate 2 units. They can move double, cannot charge, do not get a marching order. Lee has told me it's something that Alexander the Great used to do. I didn't know that. I just thought it was like a flanking manoeuvre. So one of my cavalry units, which started off over here next to my skirmishers with javelins, has meandered its way across my entire front edge of my battle line to try and just threaten one of Lee's flanks. The other unit that was approximately here has zoomed all the way up this side. Benefit of having movement 5 when you're on a horse gives you movement 10. You can do a lot of 90-degree turns and angling. So hoping to threaten. I know I'm up against a unit of cavalry. Also puts Lee in a position that, as far as I understand it, he's got a shield wall with pikes and spears, etc. at the moment. if he's going to charge out, he needs to lose those bonuses, and he can only move sort of 1 frame. So I'm thinking I might have the initiative on the charge. I don't know what Lee's got in his hand. I know what I've got, which is kind of helpful, 50% of the information. We'll see.
Well, Kevin's left me in a bit of an awkward position. I had to play a card I've been holding back for a special occasion. I've managed to get full mobilisation where I activate all of my units. That's why they've all got the little activation markers on them. The Phalanx itself has continued its slow trot forward. The cavalry smacked into Kevin's obligingly lined up cavalry in front of them, and as you can see, lap round a little bit. The Agrianians, I think that's how you pronounce it, who were behind the line, turned to face the newly emerged threats to try and at least delay anyone getting onto my the back or side of my pike phalanx. I've set off another set of Siloi behind the line as well to act as countermeasures, and yes, my flanking skirmishers and cavalry have moved up to try and do some javelling in on the hoplite attendants. So that's where the command phase got. Then the ranged attack phase happened and completely screwed me with all the random events over here. Poor visibility meant I did no damage to the hoplite attendants, and just to make things worse, the Agrianians, my elite skirmishers, suffered from impossible shots off the top of the deck to mean that they couldn't actually do a ranged attack. So thanks for that random factor. Moving on. Yeah.
Don't knock my generalship.
Yeah, Kevin's claiming this to be a great master plan of his, but
always plan for fluke.
Yeah, exactly, as he says, always plan for fluke. So yeah, but we're going to show you the combat. I have worked out the factors in advance. The random card was unstable ground, so no matter what, both sides are going to be broken come the end of this fight. Hooray for that! Thanks, random factor, once again. I played heavy casualties, so my unit inflicts double damage. I've worked out the, like I said, worked out all the factors. I've got 4 dice. I'm hitting on 2s. I'm professional, so I can re-roll them. And then when it comes to the next bit, I'll be converting them into damage on 2s again, and then doubling it. So we got some hopes. Given how the luck's been so far, I'm working on the fact that I'm owed some, but we all know that's not how it works out. So let's see what we can get. Got 4 dice, needing 2s to hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, good. So that's all hits, and then 2s to convert these into actual wounding hits. There's a 1 there, so got professional, so I can re-roll that. So that's all hits. Okay, so that's 8 points of damage after I've doubled it, which handy enough is his little heart symbol there, if you can read upside down, so that will kill him. Unfortunately, I don't have strike first against cavalry, so Kevin gets to roll back. He is hitting me on 3s with his dice, so you just want to roll that. You got 1, 2, and re-rolling 1s, yep, so 1, 2, and... no! Oh, god damn! Oh no! He's converting these on 2s, however. So yeah, that'll be 2 damage on me, and I'm broken. Hurrah! Because I love being broken, and on 2 points of damage. That's we're not, But hey, shut up, Lee. Stop moaning. To be fair, I've wiped out a unit. That's actually pretty bloody good for this stage of the game.
You not get double.
Do damage.
Your unit inflicts. Oh, son of a...
Yeah, my unit gets double damage, not yours. No, I wouldn't have played it if... no. So yeah, that's that. So Kevin's unit is gone. My unit is hurt. It loses its diamond formation, of course. But, it's just eaten a bunch of horses, so it's going to be tired. And that's the end of my activation. I'm going to go over to Kevin after I've cleaned up the board.
Well, that was a ball ache. Kind of thought that we were going to trade units there, and we didn't. Started off with General's orders, activate all units within my area of influence. It was actually 7 units, mostly my infantry shield guys of various quality, and 1 unit of hoplite attendants. And my entire battle plan was to walk forward, just to get closer to Lee's battle line. Got a sneaking suspicion he's probably not going to charge out of that shield wall.
Nope.
Nope. I've got a sneaking suspicion that none of my guys actually have a shield wall. I'm still threatening over on this flank. Don't know what Lee's going to do, whether he's going to start activating to sort that out. I couldn't activate him this turn. Yeah, that's the end of me.
had a bit of soul searching to do, just a little bit. As you can see, my battle line is still more or less intact as we start to come together and this cavalry have started skirmishing, but yeah, I was starting to run a little wee bit low on cards, and so I decided to have to pull a mulligan and draw 3 cards by not activating any units this turn. Bit of a gamble since Kevin's cavalry still poised, with my Agrianians unable to shoot at them so far. But I've got 7 cards in my hand now, thanks to my improved leadership on Philip, and so yeah, who knows what nasty tricks I've just drawn to deal with Kevin, but if when he comes close. But yeah, the battle lines are starting to get a bit stinky, and so having lots of cards in my hand will probably come in handy.
The iron's pretty warm, my lord. In fact, you could almost say the iron is hot. We kicked off on my turn with full mobilisation, so I could activate all of my units. It was time to take the fight to Lee. So as you can see, everything has been activated. Didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. Hoplites came in, lobbed some javelins and did a wound over here. In the combat that I really wanted to kick Lee's teeth in, I was that confident that my mounted guys played veterans and elites, so after a combat victory I could promote one of my guys to veteran or veteran to elite, and then because I have to play my card first, Lee then played retreat, which means he avoids the combat this turn, so I've now completely wasted that, which is a massive point of frustration. As you can see, the rest of my units have all moved forward, still not quite going that Lee's defensive line yet. This unit's moved up just to stop Lee counter-charging, and this little unit have charged into Lee's cavalry. Got some lap-arounds. We'll roll off the results for you right now.
But we did get throw javelins.
Oh yeah, we lobbed javelins at each other, which was great. I caused, I think, 1 wound on Lee's.
Which took me up to 3, which is annoying.
1 wound on my guys, so now all of a sudden a fight that I thought was going to be a bit rough is actually turning out to be a fight that I can win. Lee's already broken, so his fighting efficiency's down. Lee, if you want to go with your dice first.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we're both hitting at the same time, so whatever I do won't matter. But we worked out the factors. I'm hitting on 4s and then converting those hits on 2s. I do get to re-roll 1s if I get any though. So let's see. I trust Kev to keep these in camera shot.
Nope.
So that's 2 hits.
Yeah.
So yeah, could be worse. And these convert on 2s with re-rolling 1s. So cool. So that's 2 hits against Kevin.
Okay.
So and now Kevin. Got 4 dice as well, and he's hitting on 3s.
Bring it on, baby! I could really do with nailing these guys in this round if I can before they bugger off.
Balls.
Yep, that'll suit me.
And they're converting on 2s.
2s, but no rerolls. We're not professional. Alright, 3. No, that will do me.
That'll do him. So Kevin wins the combat. I've got a morale check to take. I'm on minus some. I'm just going to roll dice. That's a 2. That means I've got to work it out. Damn it. 6, 7, 8, 9, flank 10. Yeah, I have just... BB. So my guys are going to flee. We'll do that off camera in a bit. And yeah, hurrah. Unfortunately, yeah, only a little bit of attrition on the Peltas to show for it.
So there we go. The iron was in fact actually rather warm. Doesn't mean I'm going to do any better though. I'm really conscious of the fact that Lee's got more options. I've got 3 cards currently in my hand. Oh no, I've got 2, but I'm about to draw 1. And Lee, you've got what? How many? 7 over there because of your increased hand size? 6. So actually, Lee's got more options to play with a more elitist force, and a lot of his middle section is completely untouched and better quality troops. See how this works out.
Macedonians up again, plenty of cards to play, and I chose by the gods to give myself all my units to activate and +1 on the morale. It was not enough to save my cavalry, who unfortunately, a 50-50 chance they failed their morale check and fled off the board. That's how it goes. It's annoying. 230 points down. Right, lots happened. I moved up with a whole bunch of stuff. The infantry line has kept going. I've charged into these peltasts here, which we're going to show in just a moment. Right, so a bit of skirmish fire in the middle towards his hoplite line. Did nothing, unfortunately. Thanks to thank you cards. Right, so over here, my cavalry charged into the hoplite attendants and did the business. Suffered a point of damage into the bargain, but thank you, random card, giving me the veteran ability afterwards. I did manage to break them though, so they'll be routing hopefully next turn, or dead. That'll be do. Dead will do. Right, over here, the war dogs were unleashed. Thank you, random factor, breaking both of us before the combat even started. I played luck to get extra dice to hit, and it was just enough, so we caused 3 points of damage each, and it evened out. So, phew.
When you're smart enough to plan for fluke, rely on some luck.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's basically where we are. My skirmishers are starting to crack quite nastily, but they are causing attrition on his cavalry. That'll do as long as my phalanx stays okay. Right, so we're into the middle now, just about to roll this particular combat. We drew the random factor, and I got furious attack, which is great, because the penalty to my defence is evened out by the fact that Kevin doesn't roll against me this turn. So, haha. So yeah, I'm going to be hitting on 2s and converting on 2s, which we'll show you just now. Haha, here we go. Awesome, there's a 1, not professionals this time. And
One's baby.
2 hits. Okay.
I'll take that.
Yep, Kevin, as he says, will take that. Kevin now has a morale check, which we might as well show. Roll that die, Kev.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't fail it. Not on that you won't though, so you're staying put. Great. That's that though, but yeah, that takes off my phalanx balls. Okay, I think it takes that off too. Yeah, okay. Right, that's that for that turn. Not bad. We're getting in. The combats are generally starting to shape up to favour me, but there's a lot of Illyrians to work our way through.
It's all going maybe slightly pear-shaped, maybe slightly more apple-shaped. I don't know. Went in with transfer of the general. So I can move a general and activate a couple of units. So he was in the hoplites. We moved him out of the hoplites. Put him over into this unit over here, so I could cause myself some actions. We moved the hoplites in. Lee had some guys that were lapped around. It removes 2 of those blokes and causes 2 lots of pain on Lee's unit. And putting me into combat with these guys. Over here we've still got the ongoing fight between my cavalry. And over here we had Lee's cavalry versus my hoplite attendants, who are javelin guys who got smushed very quickly. Lee had the same card that I did last turn, so they're now veteran, which is really annoying. We moved across to here. The hoplites, which are supposed to be my good guys, are up against a unit which is half of their poxy cost.
But they do have my general, who made all the difference there.
Yeah, old Phil II is surprisingly good, and with a random flip of break the wool, which was kind of ironic because I was charging his poxy wool, my unit was broken even before a morale check. So Lee's lost his advantages for his special abilities for his unit, but at the same time I'm broken, so I'm less efficient at hitting the fucking unit in the first place. Is that everything on that side?
Well, nothing happened here.
Oh, that was
unfortunately, that was a
stalemate.
bit of a stalemate.
Swings and misses all round. So now we're going to roll off over here. Ooh. So we've both got request support. We both get an extra couple of dice. So it's bringing us up to 6 dice each to pummel the crap out of each other. The dice are kind of still in my favour, so I'm going to need 4s to hit Lee's units with 6 dice, 2s to make them convert into damage.
Off you go.
And Lee's going to need 6s followed by 3s. So we've got a couple of extra dice, some chunky ones. Whoa, don't want that one.
So 4s.
4s. We are. That's okay.
Can't re-roll them.
No. How many 2s? That's going to lose me this combat.
Now 2s to convert. Re-roll that
Re-roll
one.
the one. This is going to lose me the combat. Yeah.
It's not going to lose it for you, but it's going to mean I'm not dead.
Yeah. I would have preferred some dead, if I'm honest.
Right.
So 6s followed by 3s to convert for Lee. Okay, I'll take that.
Oh.
No, that's fine. Okay, so I got away unscathed, but again, I still haven't managed to break anything.
3s now. Yay.
Oh, 1. Oh, really? Oh.
I'll take the attrition.
Yeah.
Now I've got a morale check because I lost the combat. So
please bugger off.
I need to roll pretty much a 1.
Please bugger off.
That's not a 1.
That'll do me.
I'll be going. I'll do that off camera.
So that was combat that I thought was going to be a landslide, if I'm honest. I thought I was going to just pummel him into the floor and tread on his corpses. But if he's running, that still frees up the space. I've still got that opportunity for a flanking manoeuvre to the rear. And that looks like it's the end of my phase.
We're getting into the stage of the ancient battle known traditionally as the scrum, and hopefully my slight advantage in number of cards is going to start really stretching my muscles. Right, so I was able to play by the gods again, lovely, for +1 leadership and everyone activating. It actually allowed the Agranians to rally after their seeing off last time on 1 hit. That was quite lucky for me. It was only because they strayed into Philip's general range and the +1 from By the Gods, so yeah, count my lucky stars on that one. I've detached the Siloi to move up and throw javelins. They tried in the shooting phase and failed. Never mind. The grind continues along. We've done most of the combats, but yeah, so these Peltasts suffered an ambush because 2 of my units were in combat with them, which saw them break and run away by the end of the combat. They got quite lucky in that strong defense came out beforehand, which cancelled one of the combats, but the second was enough to send them packing, so I was quite fortunate in that regard. Philip the second's unit has been battering the hoplites and they lost the combat, but they managed to well, I was lucky I didn't get any damage back, but yeah, their general stopped them from running away, so they're still put there. Okay, my Siloi have dropped back altogether to keep out of harm's way. These guys are covering. Just about to do my cavalry, who thundered from back here into the hoplite attendants, a nice soft target. Request support came up for the card, so we both got 2 extra dice to add on to the 3 we had to start with, and I've played in-depth attack, so if I run him down, mash him up, I need to hit and wound with all of my dice, but that should hopefully be a thing. I can then charge again, and count as charging in the next turn. So here we go. I've got 5 dice. I'm hitting on 2s and converting those on 2s, and I'm re-rolling 1s. So with any luck, this should work out. So here we go. 5 dice needing 2s. Oh, there's a 1. Here we go. Need this one. No, they've all converted. They've all hit. Now, 2s with a re-roll. Oh, bollocks.
What we wanted. Come on.
Oh, you mother... Such a... Okay, well... Okay, that's 4 hits. I'll have to make do with 4. I'll just get the little counters out, because we're not letting him forget those. Here we go. Right, Kevin, your attack's back. You've got 5 of those.
4 dice, doesn't it?
No, you got 5. You always get the same number as me. Roll them and see what you get, because I can't remember. I think it's 6s.
Followed by 5s?
Something 6s followed by 5s, yeah, now that you've taken damage. Oh, good. There's 2. And then 5s with those. Perfect. Perfect.
Hey.
That's just what I wanted. I did win combat, so roll a dice for your morale.
I'll just pick one that rolled crap the last round.
3 plus 4, 7. You are next to general. 7. Yeah, 7. Yeah. You're actually okay. Brilliant.
Was that something good?
Yeah, you're good. No worries. I'll just have to kill you in your turn. That's all. It's fine. Yeah. Fuck's sake.
I know how it feels.
Yeah, I do. Awesome. Well then, that's that. That's the Macedonian thunderous go. It's fine. He's only delayed inevitable, I'm sure. Right, we're going to move on to the Illyrian turn.
Not one of the better rounds, I've got to be honest. So over on this flank, despite still struggling, Lee did manage to break away my hoplite attendants and wipe them out with his veteran horsemen. Moving across, Lee managed to break my general's unit and cause some wounds, which was extremely annoying.
Yeah, there goes my Phalanx, unfortunately, but yeah, it was worth it.
Again in the centre, in the grind, as Lee put it, I took another kicking on the hoplites. They've only got 1 hit point left. Luckily, though, we realised they cannot flee, although they are broken. Over in the top corner, I've got some heroes, baby! But we didn't manage to wipe anyone out, which is really annoying, because I'm now just getting tied up with my cavalry charge to the flank. We move down this way. These guys are still running, and they're probably going to run and count as destroyed very soon.
Probably. We did this combat. I got traps because I'm a lucky bow.
Oh, yeah, this was arse. So I charged in with 2 units. I could move 1 unit of mounted troops, which is the guys up there, and 2 other units, which was my general's unit. And these guys are engaged with Lee, but apparently there are traps in the field, and the defender gets more bonuses, which they're already a better unit. And now I'm going to have to wade my way through the rest of the shit that is Lee's special rules. Yeah, we'll roll that out now. You're going first, I think, mate.
Yes, after we work the factors out, and I'm hitting on 4s. Nice, I'll take that. Because I'm now converting these on 2s. Good stuff.
Yep, it's 3s, 6. It puts me on 1 health left, and that makes me harder to hit back on.
Yeah, you're on 6s and 6s now with 4 dice.
Yeah, this is going to be awful. Okay, guys, come on. Just do a little bit of something.
How about no?
That's a whole lot of nothing. That is thanks very much for turning up. Great charge.
Test. So,
gonna need a 1, I think.
Probably gonna need a 1.
Yeah.
That's not a 1.
That's pretty confident in our lack of morale.
That's a broken.
So
that's a paddling.
that dirty paddling. So that's the end of that round. I've actually got no cards in my hand, which is working to my detriment, because I've got no way of influencing combats that I'm putting myself in. Like all good generals, clearly planned for a little bit more fluke than I actually got. And I think Lee's got, what, 3 cards left in?
3 cards still.
So Lee's still playing with 3 cards, so he's got the option sitting there, and at the moment, better quality troops. I made the mistake a couple of rounds ago of taking these 2 units to turn them so that I could try and flank stuff, but I've not drawn any cards at all which are going to help me move these back 6 units. I'm literally kind of playing by the seat of my pants, if you like, moving 1 unit or 2 units, maybe 3 or 4 units in a turn, where Lee's had, was it Favour of the fucking Gods or whatever it was?
A little bit.
So 3 rounds in a row you've been able to activate every single unit in your force.
I don't know what the problem is here, man.
So I'm loving that. I think that's great.
You just got to be favoured by the gods, mate, that's all.
That's all it is. Yeah, plan for fluke, but be favoured by the gods. Once again they bend me over and part my cheeks.
Yeah, okay.
Right, and
YouTube, man, YouTube.
yeah, sorry, it's quoting Spartacus. And that's it. Thanks very much.
Yeah, this is starting to come up Millhouse at the moment. And right, so just for cards, Kevin had a card he drew at the end of the last turn, and I kind of fancied it, so I played Scouts to steal it off of him, which was fun. So Kevin is basically, you said he was flying by the seat of his pants before, he has literally no cards, so that's fun. I played General's Orders, so I could activate all the units in my General's area of influence, which was most of my army, because Philip has a fairly big area of influence of 3. So that was everyone from the cavalry to the Agrianians to the end of my battle line, and it all went pretty well. My pikes being able to hit first is really showing its worth. Despite the fact my units don't have the greatest stats, being able to hit first is really good. So what happened is, first of all, this combat over here, the Peltas took their last point of damage and were removed from the board. The hoplites were removed from the board before they got a chance. Philip's unit finished them off with aplomb. My cavalry continued their rather making a big deal out of going through hordes of skirmishers, doing 4 points of damage but not even breaking their opponents, and taking their customary 1 hit back in return. Hoorah. Oh yes, my Siloi were munched up by the Thessalian cavalry. So yeah, in a sort of like a mirror. But I did not put the Agrianians into them. I was tempted to charge them in to try and cause some more hits and maybe even see off these guys. But no, I'm going to force Kevin to force him to try and maneuver them, etc., with cards if he wants to get anything out of them, rather than just giving him units. It doesn't seem fair. Right, we're going to move to this last combat involving my Hypaspis versus the Illyrian general. Having worked out the cards, we drew the random factor and nothing really came up. I'm on 2s followed by 2s to hit with rerolls, and I'm hitting first. Hypaspis really are a 220 point unit. Yep, so that's all hits. And now I'm going to try and convert those. And that is 4 points of damage. That is 7 altogether. Unfortunately, the Illyrian general is goner, I'm afraid, Kevin. And that is him done. And I think, yes, that puts Kevin well over his breakpoint as well. So, yeah, I think we're just going to think about that for a second and see if it's worth continuing on. Just check the rules, etc. And back with you in just a second. But yeah, that was a bit brutal. The Macedonian battle line turns out it's nothing short of as vicious as the tales foretold. Okay, we just checked the victory conditions, and if your general dies and you've passed your break point, then yeah, there's no dice roll, your army breaks, and that makes sense in these situations. The Macedonian phalanx is crumbling up the centre of the army, and the flanks are decidedly not turned from the Macedonian point of view. So yeah, that would be a telling victory against the Illyrians. Philip can continue on with his plans to take over the rest of Greece. Now he's shored up his flanks and dealt with the Illyrian problem. Yeah, this game, I really enjoy this game. It's a simple but effective way to play.
Very clever game.
Yeah, and again, like I keep saying, you can take it on holiday reasonably easily. So, yeah, you can always keep that hobby near you. And yeah, the number of people I've played this with who then immediately just say, so how much is one set of this again? And how much do you get? And they're always surprised by the value for money of this game and the variability you can get with just one pack. It's yeah, it's really good. Really good. Yeah, I think me choosing to just before we got to grips with the other take the rest and grab the 3 extra cards was quite useful, and obviously those 3 cards I got enabled me to keep activating the bulk of my army against you, Kev, when you were like struggling to activate a few every turn. It was starting to show, and yeah, I think that's obviously part of the game as much as the stats on your cards. What do you think?
Oh yeah, massively. I briefly worked out the math. So I think Lee started with 9 or 10 units and I started with 15. But at the same time, over the course of the game, I think there was 4, maybe 5 separate activation rounds. That in total, at like a brief workout, I had a maximum of 24 activations for 15 units over 4 turns. So out of 60 potential units that could be activated over those turns, I've only actually been able to move 24. Whereupon I think you had twice the gods thing, once where you could activate everyone within your sort of influence range of your general. So actually you only had 9 units, but those units could activate and do something every single turn.
Yeah,
and I think, again, even in the combats, the cards screwed you over in the first round, second round. In the last few rounds, as soon as you start running out of those resources in your hand to either help or protect your troops or to order them, yeah, it's quite bizarre. There's a lot more going on than there are some cards moving around Warhammer Old World Fantasy style, where angles are important, actions are important, but you don't get to choose what you're moving necessarily every turn. And adaptability, I think adaptability is the word. Just be prepared for, you know, a bit of luck, a bit of fluke, rolling some dice, and working with what you've got each turn. Just roll with the punches.
Cool. Well, thanks very much, Kevin, and yeah, thanks for playing. Yeah, but it's good to see. I mean, this is literally Kevin's second game and probably my 5th altogether, and so and we've pretty much picked up everything. We've seen all the rules, so that's you know, that just shows how easy this is to pick up, and we could go again now probably pretty confidently. This is definitely not a game which requires a huge amount of brain power to get your head around, but and despite the fact there's some things missing, like in other rule sets, like when a unit breaks, the ones in combat with them don't necessarily chase after them straight away, etc., and the fact that infantry can charge cavalry and stuff, that's not usually allowed. To be honest, things like that, they happen in this, but the norm doesn't apply to this, but it's not really it's not a really major issue. Most of the games bear out like you'd expect a battle to, even though with simplified rules, and the fact that all the unit stats are on their cards just makes everything so much easier as well, so you can really concentrate on the game. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this battle report, if you've got this far. My name's Shieldwall100. I hope to play this again, maybe myself, maybe with Kevin or someone else, I don't know. But of course there'll be other Ancients games as well as Batman, of course. I've still got Hail Caesar I really want to get back into, Strength and Honour. There's always something new to do. And World War II, whatever. Thank you for watching, like I said, and I hope to see you next time. More battle reports to come.